Today we will read, I know, okay, it's okay, Anush. Today we will read the lesson, The Adventures of Toto. Few parts of this lesson is left. So we will continue the same. In the winter season, Toto enjoyed having a warm bath. We saw it yesterday. He would pretend to be selfish, and before starting his bath, he would check the temperature of the water. He would copy the writer and stepped into the tub. Then he would rub himself with soap. When the water became cold, he would run out of it to the stove in the kitchen in order to dry himself. Toto got annoyed if he was laughed upon. He would get hurt and then refuse to take bath. The writer recollects an incident when Toto had almost boiled himself. See, Tutu was a mischievous monkey. We all are aware of it. So once when he was checking the same thing, he met with an accident. He was just checking the water, whether it is warm or cold. And an incident happened. There was a large kitchen kettle had been left on the fire to boil for tea, and Toto, finding himself with nothing better to do, decided to remove the lid. Finding the water just warm, enough for a bath, he got in. See, without seeing that whether the water is on the stove or where it is, he jumped into the water. He got in with his head sticking out from the open kettle. His head was upward. This was just fine for a while until the water began to boil. Till the time the water was not boiling, it was very comfortable for him. But finding it cold outside, sat down again. Toto then raised himself a little. When it started boiling, he raised upwards his head little bit, but he found that outside it was so cool. Again, it shifted himself in that kettle. He continued hopping up and down for some times. Many times he did coming outside the kettle, and again when he was feeling that outer it is very cold, then he moved inside the kettle. Until grandmother arrived and howled him. Half boiled out of the kettle. Howled means pulled him out. Till the time grandmother came into the kitchen and she pulled him out. Dhruv is there. Wait. Water was boiling on the stove, that we did. Dhruv, you have late joined late very. Why? Dhruv, why are you late?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, क्यों लेट हो गया? चलो ठीक है, मैंने अभी एक ही पैराग्राफ पढ़ाया है, and that I want to share with you. So just pay your attention on my words. In a large kettle, water was boiling on the stove. Toto climbed up to the stove and removed the lid from it. He felt that the water was warm enough for him to take a bath. He entered the kettle with his head out of it. When the water started boiling, it became hot for Toto. He thought of coming out of the kettle, but as the temperature outside was cold for him, he stayed in it. Toto kept on jumping in the kettle for a while. It was when the writer's grandmother arrived. Then she took the half-boiled monkey out of the kettle. Sometimes your mischief can create problem for you. Same thing happened with Toto. He wanted to take the warm water. He wanted to feel the warmth and he decided to take a bath. But in spite of knowing that the kettle was on the stove, he jumped in it, and after some time, still the water was not boiling. The situation was comfortable for him. And as the water started boiling, then it came up and down, but it was not able to come outside of the kettle. If there is a part of the brain especially devoted to mischief, that part was largely developed in Toto. Toto was such a mischievous monkey that if there is a special part in the brain for doing some mischief, it was there with Toto. The part was largely developed in Toto. He was always tearing things to pieces. Whenever one of my aunts came near him, he made every effort to get hold of her dress and tear a hole in it. जब भी कोई आंट उसके घर आती थी तो वो क्या करता था, उनके नजदीक चला जाता था और कोशिश करता था कि उनके ड्रेस को पकड़ ले. And he tear it, that dress, and make hole in them. One day at lunchtime, a large dish of pulao stood in the center of the dining table. We entered the room to find Toto stuffing himself with rice. My grandmother screamed and Toto threw a plate at her. What happened one day? Ritam has also joined. Why these people are joining late? I don't know. Toto threw a plate at her. One of my aunts rushed forward and received a glass of water in the face. When grandfather arrived, Toto picked up the dish of pulao and made his exit through a window. Means he exited from the window with the whole plate of pulao. We found him in the branches of the jackfruit tree. The dish still in his arms, he remained there all afternoon, eating slowly through the rice, determined on finishing every grain. Means he started eating. He took the shelter on a jackfruit tree. Can you tell me what is the meaning of jackfruit? Have you seen jackfruit?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Yes,
batao.
ma'am.
Meaning batao. Aditya has joined. What is the meaning of jackfruit? Is it a fruit?
No, ma'am.
No,
Or
ma'am,
vegetable?
vegetable. Katal.
Vegetable.
No, ma'am.
हाँ बोलो.
Ma'am, cutter.
Aishwarya Sinha, mute yourself. Do you think jackfruit? Yes, it is kathal. Very good. It is not a fruit, it is a vegetable. But when it will ripe, no, then people used to eat it. So it is fruit also. And when it is unripe, then we will use it as vegetable. He remained there all afternoon. पूरे समय वो afternoon में वहीं पे रहा. And he decided to finish a single grain from the plate. So he started eating the rice very slowly. And then, in order to spite grandmother, who had screamed at him, he threw the dish down from the tree and chattered with delight when it broke into 100 pieces. Chattered means the sound made by the monkey. This is the sound of the monkey. A monkey chatters. Spite means a desire to hurt, annoy, or offend someone. Spite. So he decided to take revenge from grandmother because in the afternoon she screamed at him. So he decided to take his own revenge and he threw the plate on her and the plate was broken in 100 pieces. The monkey became very happy when he saw that he was able to take the revenge from grandmother. The writer recollects another incident when Toto created a lot of mischief. At lunchtime, a dish of rice was placed on the dining table. When the family reached to eat, they found Toto eating it. The writer's grandmother screamed at Toto and in response, he threw a plate at her. I think we did it, no? No.
Yes.
When the aunts tried to catch Toto, he threw a glass of water in their face. When the grandfather arrived, Toto left the place through a window with the dish of rice along with him. Toto remained out the entire afternoon. He sat on the branch of the jackfruit tree, determined to eat all the rice as the grandmother had screamed on him. We did it. Obviously, Toto was not the sort of pet we could keep for long. See, we keep only those pets which are easy to handle, not the problematic pets or not the troublesome one. But Toto was such a monkey which is creating problem for the family members and for the neighbors also. Sometimes he used to tear the dresses of ladies who came to visit the narrator's house. Sometimes he threw something on grandmother. So thank God he had not able to hurt anyone. But we have to be careful also while keeping a pet. So even grandfather realized that we were not well to do and could not afford the frequent loss of dishes, clothes, curtains, and wallpaper. So grandfather found the Tonga driver and sold Toto back to him for only 3 rupees. And how much money he bought Toto from Tonga driver?
5 rupees.
5 rupees. And when he was creating problem for the narrator and his family members, then grandfather sold Toto back to Tonga driver at what price?
3 rupees.
3 rupees. So in spite of getting 2 rupees loss, also he decided to send Tutu away from their house. And he gave them. He tore clothes, curtains, wallpapers, and broke dishes. So the grandfather sold Toto back to the same Tonga driver for a sum of 3 rupees. Now this is you have to write the summary also. I think, do you have any query regarding this one? You can ask. Otherwise, I will ask the question answer. If you have to ask anything, you can ask. Otherwise, ready to give the answer of the question which I am going to ask you. Anyone?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. Now, first question is, how does Toto come to grandfather's private zoo? चलो बताओ जल्दी से.
Ma'am, can ma'am, grandfather had great looking 4 animals. He bought Toto from a Tonga driver and decided to put him in his private zoo.
Yes, because he was pitied on him. When he saw that the red color little monkey was tied with chain by the Tonga driver, then he decided to take the monkey and keep it in his private zoo. So he bought him for a sum of 5 rupees. Toto was a pretty monkey. In what sense is Toto pretty? He created problem for every members of the family. Then also grandfather was saying that Toto was a pretty monkey. Do you think he's really pretty? How Toto was a pretty monkey? Anyone can say?
Yes, ma'am.
Bolo.
Ma'am, according to author, Toto was a pretty monkey because his eyes were bright, his teeth were white like pears, and his tail added to his good looks.
Means he had white teeth like pearl, and he had a long tail which was like a third hand for him. And grandfather felt that a tail added beauty to the animal. Why does grandfather take Toto to Saharanpur and how? Why does the ticket collector insist of calling Toto a dog? Give the answer of this question also. First, you listen to my question. First part is, why does grandfather take Toto to Saharanpur and how? Grandfather took Toto along with himself to Saharanpur because as he was mischievous, it was not safe to leave him alone at home. A bag made of a strong canvas material was arranged. Some straw was placed in it. Toto was placed inside the bag and the bag was sealed with the zipper. The ticket collector did not accept grandfather's claim that Toto was not a dog. He called it a dog and charged a ticket fee for it because only dogs were allowed to travel on trains. If Toto had to travel by train, then he would have to be termed a dog. Next question is, why does the author say Toto was not the sort of pet we could keep for long? Give the answer of this question.
Ma'am, can I?
Yes, of course.
Ma'am, one day Toto stepped into kettle that has been left on the fire to boil for tea. He was just fine for a while until the water began to boil. The grandfather arrived and helped him half boiled out of the kettle.
Chris has joined now. Anybody else want to say? The author says that Toto was not the kind of pet that they could keep for long because he was extremely mischievous. He destroyed many things. He tore the wallpapers, clothes and curtains. He broke dishes too. The family could not afford all this and so decided to get rid of Toto. And he would be able to harm the family members also if he was not be caught. Whenever people were not there, then he might hurt the family members also. Now, once I just going to revise the whole summary so that you will write this summary in your notebook also. I think, do you have any problem in understanding the text? Anyone?
No, ma'am.
No problem, I think, because it is in very simple language and word meanings also I told you. So I don't think any problem you faced. See, can anybody of you, any one of you can tell me the summary yourself? If you can, you start speaking. I will, if you are wrong, I will correct you in between.
Okay, ma'am.
Start speaking.
Okay, ma'am.
Please tell me your name. Who is speaking?
Ma'am, Nisha.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
This story is about the narrator grandfather admiration and looking for animal. He bought a baby monkey from a Tonga driver and named it Toto. He wanted Toto because he already passed a tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a tame, a square, and a goat, but no monkey. With the coming of Toto, his mini zoo transferred into a real zoo. Toto presence was kept top secret as grandmother into the narrator room. Toto tore off narrator school blazer. Toto, when kept into the zoo, started troubling other animals.
It's okay. Good. So this is the story. Now it is over. So your homework is to write the question, answer and word meaning from this lesson. Complete it in your English notebook. And first lesson is already completed, The Lost Child. Third lesson is Iswaran the Storyteller. है ना? Third lesson वही है ना? Iswaran the Storyteller. This is also an interesting lesson, and we will, if you now we have time. Yes, we have 20 minutes time now. So let us start it. Nisa Bharti has joined again. I think she left by mistake. This is also an enjoyable lesson. You will enjoy it because it is the story of ghost. Some additional questions are also there in your book that I want to ask from you. Wait. So before going to the next lesson, let me finish it. Where was Toto transferred? How did grandfather's other pets live? Where was Toto transferred? And how was grandfather? How did grandfather's other pets live? Anyone? Okay, I will tell you. Dhruv, you also not knowing? Nisha, Bharti? His presence in the house is still a secret. He was transferred to a big cage in the servants' quarter where all the pets of grandfathers were living sociably, in a sociable manner. Means they never fought with each other. जबकि टोटो तो mischievous monkey था, he created problems for others also. What type of bag was provided for Toto that we had seen? Canvas bag with a zipper in it. Why did Toto become a friend? And what was the name of the donkey?
Ma'am, Nana.
Nana. And what he did to Nana? What Toto did to Nana? क्या किया था उसने नाना के साथ? कुछ नहीं किया, भूल गए? ओके, उसने नाना के साथ उसको परेशान करके रख दिया था. And when grandfather came, he showed that he had not done anything, and grandfather patted Nana's, give a hit to Nana's back, and then he came to understand what he did. Nana slapped across her haunches and she jerked back, dragging Toto with her. He had fastened on her long ears with his sharp little teeth. On seeing the grandmother, what did he do with pulao dish? Describe. Just now we finished it. We had seen the incident just now. So now tell me, on seeing the grandmother, what did he do with pulao dish? क्या किया था टुट्टू ने? Anybody can try, whether you are right or wrong. Why are you worried about it? At least you should try to give the answer.
Ma'am,
No.
Toto.
Okay.
Ma'am, Toto picked up the dish of plow and made his exit through a window.
When grandmother screamed, wait, it's running out of time. 10 minutes more are there. Toto was stuffing himself with rice. When grandmother screamed, then Toto threw a plate at her because he wanted to take revenge from grandmother. What sort of the pet Toto was? What happened with Toto in the end? What sort of pet Toto was? किस तरह का पेट था वो? बोलो. You people are not at least trying. 11-12 students are there, but you people are not doing any effort to answer the question. Only one girl is answering all the question. Anush, Dhruv.
Yes, ma'am.
बोलो. Answer तो बोलो. नहीं बोल पाओगे? चलो मैं ही बताती हूँ. Toto was not the sort of pet we could keep for long. Grandfather was not belonged to a well-to-do family. He could not afford the frequent loss of things, plates, dishes, clothes, wallpaper, means curtains also, etc. Toto was sold back by grandfather to the same Tonga driver at the sum of 3 rupees only. Clear to you all?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this lesson is over. And next we will read. Tomorrow you have your English class.
Yes, ma'am.
Online or offline? Hello? It is online or offline?
Ma'am, offline.
Offline it is there. Okay. So tomorrow we will read this one. Iswaran the storyteller. Or you want to read Behind?
Ma'am,
Which book you want to read tomorrow? Tell me.
Ma'am, Bihar.
Behind. Which lesson is there in Behind?